Yes, welcome along to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub. Hard to think that was only a week ago, that West Brom result, and what a result it was. Nobody needs a reminding, do they, about what happened at the very end of that. Hopefully, the end today will be another 3 points for the Foxes. Maybe not as dramatic. A nice, easy, hopefully home win would suffice this afternoon. Let's get all of today's team news before we introduce our guests this afternoon, as Enzo Maresca has decided to make 3 changes from that side that won at the Hawthorns. Out go Ricardo, McAteer and Iheanacho to be replaced by Hamza Choudhury, who captains the side this afternoon, Abdul Fatawu and Patson Daka, who makes his first start for the Foxes since April. That's probably the headline team news today. Here is the Leicester City 11. Then it's Hermansen, Justin, Vestergaard, Fass and Choudhury, Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi in midfield, with Mavididi and Fatawu in behind Patson Daka. On the bench, it's Starsick, Cody, Cassidy, Albrighton, Sutar, Pratt, Cannon, Maswanise and Ben Nelson, fresh off the back of a new contract. From a Plymouth point of view, Steven Schumacher makes 6 changes to the side that beat Stoke in dramatic circumstances a week ago. A notable change, though, is Callum Wright. Many of you may remember him from his time with the development squad here at Leicester. Here's their 11 then in full. It's Cooper in goal. We think a back 4 of Edwards, Gibson, Plegway-Zalo, as we practiced that just before we came on, and Randall at right back, with Butcher, Azaz and Wright in midfield, Miller and Whittaker in behind Bundu. Whittaker, the man to look out for from a Plymouth point of view. 8 goals to his name already this season, many of them crackers from outside of the box. Yes, welcome along to Matchday Live. We've got Liam Moore and Matt Elliott, 2 very easy names to pronounce, in the studio alongside me, Dan Bates, this afternoon, as we look ahead to yet another game for the Foxes in the Championship and hopefully yet another win. It's great to have you along, Liam, for the second time now this season on Matchday Live. So you weren't bored of us last time that you came on?
No, not at all. I really enjoyed it. And like I said when I left last time, I hope that I can bring some luck and get back on the winning streak today.
Yeah, hopefully so, Matt.
Yeah.
What are you expecting?
I'm expecting a really positive performance. Yeah, after last week, you know, what more do you need to really get the sort of the blood going, get the energy, recharged through the week and for the next game, and the confidence as much as anything as well, because however good a side you are, you know, when you take a little dip in form, you start asking yourself little bits of questions. Nothing too severe, but I thought that performance, as much as the result against West Brom, was pretty comprehensive without being spectacular. But the way it finished, the 3 points, the elation at the end of the game, you'll carry that through in a positive manner through to this game and at home at the King Power against opposition where Plymouth are in the league. Expecting a really strong performance, go and ram home the importance of that victory last week.
Coming up on the show on Matchday Live this afternoon, we'll look back at that performance a week ago at the Hawthorns and how dramatically late everything came in that one there. Harry Winks just about squeezing the winner in right at the very end of that one. We'll hear from the manager, as ever, of course. Enzo Maresca says in the week that Plymouth are a complicated side. We'll hear what he has to say. And we'll obviously take a closer look at Steven Schumacher's Plymouth side, who are much better at home than they are on the road, but obviously no one will be taking anything for granted today. The headline team news really is Patson Daka, though. His first start since April. His only other minutes in the Championship this season were 1 minute, Liam, off the bench. We've not seen much of him at all, so to see him from the start today, are you surprised? And he must be chomping at the bit today.
Definitely, yeah, I'm surprised. Obviously, when you're coming into the games, you start to try and guess the team if you like. It's normally one of 2, either Vardy or Iheanacho. Daka's getting the opportunity today for reasons obviously the manager will only know. There's potentially maybe an illness or injuries that have been picked up in training, and he'll be desperate to get out there and show why he should be playing and getting more minutes.
Yeah, did my eyes deceive me there, or am I inventing things? No Vardy or Iheanacho.
Or Ricardo even on the bench. Enzo Maresca has said that he'll pick up questions on the absences after the match.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
so we'll know a little bit more after, but you would assume that...
Yeah, well, whatever reason. I suppose Tom Cannon will be thinking, hello, waving his hand a little bit, thinking, I'm ready to rumble as such, but after recovering from injury and being on the bench ahead of Daka, in recent weeks without getting any game time at all. But you'll be able to answer this better than anyone else, Liam. How do the players these days, like Daka in this instance, I understand players coming back from injury, but like players that aren't getting a game at all, basically, how do they stay match fit? Because they come in, they slot in, they look like they've never been out. You know, they're not even puffing after an hour or so, but they complete the 90 minutes quite comfortably on regular occasions. How does it work these days?
I think we're pretty blessed in this day and age with all of the GPS units, the sports science.
Keeping your levels on.
Yeah, so you know in a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis what numbers you need to be hitting. And I imagine, you know, players like Daka that have been out of the squad for a while, he will have his targets throughout the week, and if he's not in a squad on a Saturday, we're going to basically replicate a game the best as we can. So he'll be ready, no doubt about it. He'll be hitting all the numbers.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. But say back in the day, sorry, Bates, I know you want to move on. But it always intrigues me, you know, keeping up with the modern era and all that. But listen, we used to do a bit of extra running. If you didn't play Saturday, you do an extra run in 20 minutes, half hour max on a Tuesday. That was it. You still got your day off Wednesday if things were going to plan. But that was pretty much it. But there wasn't enough to maintain over a 2-3 month period of being sub and not getting games. Come in, you weren't up to match speed, but the boys are these days. Would they do extra regularly, like 3 or 4 days a week?
I'd say so. So like the head of sports science will have everybody's numbers. When you are playing, this is what you hit, this is the distances, the high speed.
And for the duration and everything.
For the week, in training they'll get the same amount, maybe a little bit extra between a Monday to Friday. And then I think the Saturday is the gap that needs to be bridged the most if you're not playing. And I think the most important thing, which most S&C guys will say now, is the high-speed running. That's where you run into your issues. You know, if a player's been in the dark for 2 or 3 months, he comes in and he pulls a hamstring, it's because he's not been exposed to that. So I'm sure they'll be right on top of those numbers, and he'll need to hit, I don't know, 600-700 metres a week high-speed running, and then he knows I've done that. So when a game comes, he can replicate it.
That's why they're probably like Ricardo's being nursed, isn't he? Over because he's had a succession of injuries over time. Play 1.5 games in it and then have a rest, and then he's out. And
they've got like zones now as well. So the S&C guys will be right on top of it. He's just going into the amber zone. If we keep pushing him, he goes into the red. If you go into the red, then your possibility of getting injury can go up 50-60%. So I imagine with someone like Ricardo that's had a few issues along the way, they'll be looking at that and pulling him in and out when he's ready. You
mentioned going into the dark there. I had a few ex-teammates who were going into the dark regularly, but we won't go there.
It was nice hearing some proper insight there, Matt, rather than you just saying, we had a little bit of a run in training and that was it. Quick word on Daka though, and as we've said, in terms of Ricardo and Vardy and Nacho, hopefully we'll have some more answers at full time when Enzo Maresca assesses that. But Daka, I think it immediately sprung to my mind a goal at Chelsea at home last season where he takes it with his left foot. He's capable of scoring goals, isn't he? We've seen that.
He is. I think he's a bit of a mix between Vardy and Iheanacho. You see the goal there. You know, he comes inside his left, puts it away lovely, but he's also got the ability to really stretch his opposition. And I think in today's game, Plymouth have openly said they're going to come out and try and cause Leicester a few issues. That space in behind will be something that Leicester will look to exploit, and he can do that with his pace.
Bournemouth away. I think you were at Bournemouth away, weren't you, last season? Another swivel to give Leicester the lead, and that again, if he does get half a chance, he invariably takes them. Yeah,
it was sharp, wasn't he? Listen, I haven't got any doubts to any degree at all, really, about his finishing. I think in certain situations, he's as good as most. Certainly, you know, bearing down on goal, and he composes himself well, and that's great adaptability, if you like, for want of a better word. There, he's twisted and turned. He knows where the goal is. As an out-and-out finisher, I don't think that's his problem. It's general play, really, that he sort of struggled to integrate properly. And it looks a little bit clumsy even at times, but then other times it clicks. He's got power, he's got pace, he's got many attributes. We mentioned an excellent finisher. I think, personally, in this style of football, I think he'll slot in more than fine. More than fine. Not a problem for me at all. You know, probably on any given day will fit in as well as Vardy or Iheanacho. Because the centre forwards these days, or in this approach to style of football, they don't feature that much in the build-up too often. It's all about in and around the penalty box, which is what Daka's mainly about.
Yeah, final word on Patson Daka. I sort of briefly alluded to it earlier. From a mental point of view, he'll be desperate to go out there and show, I should be in this team. I should be playing more and getting more minutes than what I'm getting.
Absolutely. I don't know him on a personal level. You hope that that is the mindset. I'm sure it will be. We've obviously got January around the corner, which leading up to this point, I'm sure in the back of his mind might have thought that it would be a window that he potentially moves on if he's not getting the minutes that he feels like he deserves. But all of that's got to go back to the back of his mind today. He's in the starting lineup, and any player, when you step out there and you're in the starting lineup, you've got to be thinking, I'm staying here now. Someone's going to have to take the place from me.
Yeah, let's hopefully hope that we'll see him on the score sheet today. Speaking of goals, looking back to them last week at the Hawthorns, it all happened pretty late, didn't it, that drama, and what drama it was for the away end at the Hawthorns.
Phillips with this corner, swung in, headed on, and then it's deflected and off the post. I think it almost hit Semi Ajayi, and it cannons back off the right-hand post. Let off for Leicester, and here's Dewsbury Hall in a flash. Dewsbury Hall shifts it to Mavididi. Mavididi, oh, it's off the post. Deflected off the boot of Darnell Furlong after a gorgeous move from the Foxes. Iheanacho has spun away beautifully from his marker, and then he's dragged his shot wide. It's classic Kelechi Iheanacho, and we've seen him find the corner so often in his Leicester City career. Fatawu here pokes that ball onto Ndidi. Leicester are looking really lively. Ndidi, what a ball! Kiernan Dewsbury Hall has arrived on cue, and Leicester leads. They've been threatening that for 5 or 10 minutes. The away end erupts. It feels like a huge goal. West Brom 0, Leicester 1. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's at it again. Back into the box it goes. It's pinball, and it's going to drop to who? Somebody in a blue and white shirt, because Josh Nadja has poked it home, and Leicester couldn't keep them at bay. It wasn't pretty, but it was very effective. And the counter's on now. Iheanacho must slip somebody through. He slipped through Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. He's one-on-one. Dewsbury Hall shifts it to Harry Winks, who surely wins the game. Harry Winks runs over to celebrate. It looks like being a 15th league win of the season already. What scenes in the away end. The whole of the Leicester players celebrate and jump on Winks. West Brom went for broke, and Leicester ultimately had the quality, the poise, the class to finish them off.
Well, what a win that was. What an away end that was a week ago at West Brom. Matt, you were there on co-commentary for us. I'm sure you were probably up and celebrating, weren't you? Just like all of those Leicester fans were. But what a moment right at the very end. The type of moment that maybe you look back on at the end of a season. Yeah,
I think that will stick in the players' minds, definitely, throughout the season and probably beyond. You know, even at the end of their careers, they'll look back and, you know, I'm sure Liam will probably agree that much of your career becomes a bit of a blur because it all merges into one, and certain highlights stick out and little special moments, and that will be one of them, I imagine, especially if Leicester do achieve their target this year, you know, getting themselves back in the Premier League. That would be one of the points that stick in people's memories, and rightly so, because the drama of it that Chris Parrott was describing there was great to be witnessing, really, to be able to see. And, you know, it's not that often that the bench are up as one like that. The staff, the players, the manager, the security guards, everyone. The doctor was on the pitch and everything. It was sort of, you know, an instinctive reaction, really. And moments like that don't come around too often, do they? Only just, Liam, wasn't it, from Harry Winks? Probably a lot closer than what he would have been expecting.
Yeah, obviously, KDH he's always looking to play that pass, but it's a bit tighter than you'd want at that moment. He's had to latch onto it, but it's a massive moment. You know, if that doesn't go in and it finishes a draw, that's 1 win in 5, and people start to ask a few more questions, a few more doubts start to come in. But yeah, to get that win, it's big, and it just sets them up now for a good December and hopefully go back on the path that they're on.
I'll tell you what I noticed on the last replay of Winks' goal there was, you know, obviously a good play, good run. Winks has got his head down as if to go, oh, I've got a long haul here. At the start of the run, his head goes down and he's like, legs are churning, whatever. And anyway, he's finished that run. He's fit as a fiddle. just run there, and it's like, right, come on, Harry. But behind that, the next one, Yannick Vestergaard's threatening to get involved even. I don't know what he's thinking. He's about 50 yards behind the ball. But he's charging up from his defensive position. Maybe he's thinking, might be a rebound, ricochet. You could just see him on the back end of there. But that's how keen Leicester were to drive forward and force the issue. Where's Yannick? There he goes. Look. He thought, no, I saw it too late.
Went to join him with the celebrations. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, though, again, magnificent on the afternoon, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's brilliant. His numbers are outstanding. This is what you want from him. He's got the ability. He's showing a glimpse of it in the Premier League. And a lot of fans will really respect him. He stayed. I imagine there would have been suitors for him in the Premier League. But being a local lad, he's stayed and he's really stepped up. And to get on the end of that cross has showed his growth as a player, I believe. Maybe a year ago, he might have been holding out on the edge of the box, wanting a pullback. But he's got real desire to get on the end of things and get on the score sheet.
Got to mention Wilfred as well, haven't you? As well as Kiernan, rightly so. But Wilfred's just bringing different dimensions to his game, isn't he? And he's another one. There would have been people, I know he had not his best year, as did not a lot of players, but perhaps there are reasons behind the scenes for that with Wilfred and Didi, but yeah, he's a top-class performer, really. He's a Premier League level player, isn't he? He's proven that already. He stayed as well, the likes of Ricardo as well. There's a few of them. There's probably reasons why. I'm not saying it's all totally down to loyalty, etc., but it's often complicated, Liam, isn't it? But the fact that they've shown the willing and the attitude to apply themselves properly has been really useful.
Yeah, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall actually said in his post-match interview, he talked about the first goal, the fact that Enzo's really encouraging them. If one of the 2-8, so Wilfred in that case, is going down on the right-hand side, he's got to be in the box. He's got to almost be another striker, if you like, and that's exactly what it came to fruition.
Definitely, and I think the style of play that Leicester are playing at the minute enables him and Wolf to make those runs. If the game's more frantic and it's back and it's forward, to ask a player to then make the box and score goals, it's a big ask. But they're controlling the game for long periods, they're kind of conserving their energy, and then when it is time to go forward, they go full tilt.
Yeah, they do those runs constantly, don't they? Different areas of the pitch as well, but like Liam says, when it's quite structured and you're sort of moving slowly, pragmatically forward, then you can take a little bit of a breather and go. But sometimes I think they should hold their space occasionally, because I think they cramp up the room for the wide player in a 1v1 situations. But it seems like the manager wants them to do it come what may, and two ideal players to do it, because not only they've got the athletic ability, they've got the technical ability.
Yes, if you like that link up then between Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Harry Winks for the winner, then you'll like this next little feature that we've done. We've sat the pair of them down in a game of Read My Lips.
Loser has to make someone a coffee in the morning.
Fine. No,
Flat
fine
white,
by me.
please.
Flat white, yeah. Fine,
Yeah.
fine by me. Fine by me.
All right, cool, let's go.
Penalty spot.
Pamela Anderson. What?
Leon Goretzka. You never get this one.
Mother Teresa.
Leon Goretzka.
Enzo Maresca. And you don't move your mouth.
Are you shouting?
Oh, is it loud?
Yeah.
Was I shouting? Enzo Maresca. Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes.
My toes.
Corner kick.
Cool. Cool.
Corner kick.
No.
Corner kick.
Cool kids.
You can watch our full feature of Read My Lips with Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Harry Winks available on Foxy. So you were leaning forward, you were loving that.
Oh, did he get any? I was trying to hear it. It wasn't coming out to that, but did he get any right?
Yeah, they get some right. Yeah, you'll have to go on to Fox's Hub and watch a full feature there. Right, Matt, you always complain that we never involve you in anything in terms of any of your goals. Maybe
I
that
didn't
you've
score
scored.
against Plymouth.
You didn't score against Plymouth, but on Wednesday, of course, there's a game against Millwall. It is available for everybody on Fox's Hub, either internationally or in the UK, and you have a goal against Millwall. Let's take a look
indeed. I remember it very well. Here we go.
we have a live UK stream then of that game, or a live stream for everybody on Wednesday evening against the Lions. It's a 7:45 kickoff. That means we are live with Matchday Live from 6:45. There's a QR code for you in the bottom right of your screen there. If you scan that, it'll take you exactly where you need to go to pre-order that. It only costs £10. You get all the build-up with us here, and then you get to watch the game in full on Fox's Hub. So, yeah, well worth it. So scan the little code there to get ahead of the game. Yeah, there you go, Matt. We've finally got a goal of yours.
Why did that goalkeeper bother diving? Really? He was never getting there, was he? Come on, he should know better than that. I particularly enjoyed that one. Here it goes. Lovely ball from Muzzy, right on the button. There you go. Just guide it into the far post. Back where it came from and all that. Looping over. Beautiful, beautiful. Do you know what? I really enjoyed that. A certain Dennis Wise was player manager of Millwall. I won't go into the details, but it made it even more enjoyable to get the victory.
Yeah, it pains me, Liam, to ever praise Matt, but that was a decent header, in fairness.
Yeah, I've got to give him to him there. It's one of those goals where if Ronaldo scores, everyone talks about the leap, so credit where it's due. It's very good.
Have you paid him to say that? But you say that before then?
I didn't realise I could leap. But
yes, maybe a repeat of that then on Wednesday evening against Millwall. A reminder then, of course, £10 for that stream available to you anywhere, including here in the UK. Let's turn our attention, though, back to the game, of course, this afternoon here at King Power Stadium against Plymouth Argyle. Enzo Maresca has been speaking in the build-up ahead of it about the opposition, Plymouth, and what his analysis is of them.
It's a very complicated team. I think the best of the championship, or the second, probably it's the second in terms of counter-attacker after Leeds. So we need to be careful, especially when we have the ball. They are dangerous, and we need to control the game. We need to control the tempo of the game. And also they have very good player like Whittaker, that is very good profile, very good winger, dangerous on the ball. So, and they are doing fantastic job since already 2-3 years.
How do you tactically guard against that kind of counter-attacking football when you play quite an expansive possession-based game? How quickly do you have to be wary of that transition?
Yeah, probably. As I said, when you face a team that they are dangerous when they have the ball, probably you need to behave in one way. But when they are dangerous when we have the ball, probably we need to control, as we said many times, we need to control. First of all, we have to try to keep the ball in the best way we can. Don't give away in easy way. And in the moment that if happen that we give away the ball in easy way, or they are able to recover the ball, we need to be able to avoid transition.
And finally, Enzo, after 2 away games back-to-back, back at King Power Stadium as well, for 2 back-to-back home games, that must feel like a big thing and nice to be at home, but also quite a nice opportunity with 2 back-to-back home games as well.
Absolutely. I think that we're going to start a very important moment of the season tomorrow. And as you said, because we have 2 games at home, we need our fans 100% tomorrow be with us, because as I said, we are in an important moment, and tomorrow is an important game. The next one will be an important game, and we need all of them behind the team, pushing the team, and all together try to win the game.
I wonder, you talk about them being important games. Are they more important because you got that late win, a chance to build some momentum again and build a sequence again?
No, it's probably also it's for many reasons. Probably the main reason for me is because around December it's always a month that it's a tricky month for many reasons, and if you are able to be consistent, exactly, it's something important.
That was Enzo Maresca there speaking ahead of the game with Plymouth. We just had a little snippet at the end there. He struggled a little bit with the word consistent. We're not laughing at him because I certainly can't say it in Italian. That's for sure. But it's a word that we've talked a lot about this season, is consistency, and making sure that you remain that in this division. That's how you gain promotions. That's how you win divisions.
Definitely, and they're consistent on many different levels. Some people can say, I consistently win, but they've got their formula. They stick to it, the way they play, even in late stages of games as well, when people are like, go on, get it forward, try and get the winner. he'll stay very consistent with his play, his movements, what he expects from his players, and the table speaks for itself.
Yeah, and for people who question that, myself included at certain times, I think there's a time and a place for certain approaches, or at the start and the end of the game particularly. But as Liam says, come what may, he tells his players to play the way he wants to, and I think he sees it as like the end game. The end target will be achieved over a long period of time. There might be blips, there might be dips, and occasions where they concede unnecessarily in some people's eyes, but over the duration, over the long haul,
it works.
Yeah, he'll get it. Not even just the law of averages. It will get into the players' minds. There'll come a time when it becomes automatic and they don't get caught out at all, etc. Because I feel Leicester have been slightly fortunate at times to not concede very early in games, but against superior opposition, possibly that might change. But as it is now, there's not too much to grumble about, is there?
I'd agree massively there with Matt about being slightly lucky at times. I watched the game last week and West Brom nicked it 4 or 5 times in the first half, and a trend that I'm starting to see with teams now is they're pressing from out to in. Obviously, Enzo wants the goalkeeper to have the ball a good amount of time. Obviously, it's better if he can get his midfielders on it, but he's happy for his goalkeeper to have it and look for the pass into midfield. And teams are looking to jump from out to in at the minute, and those straight balls, they're not being punished. And I think the bigger picture is hopefully Leicester get to where they want to be. By this time next year, they're in the higher division. You can't be making them mistakes. Obviously, you've got to cut them a little bit of slack because it's the start of a championship season. It's fairly new still, but the bigger picture is these mistakes have to get less and less, and then the higher you go up, they can't be existent at all.
And it allows them, though, later on in games. We've spoken about the record, how ridiculous it is in terms of Leicester's goals late on in games compared to earlier. I mean, even Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall sums it up. All 6 of his goals have come past the hour mark.
Yeah, they tend to sort of drain the energy out of oppositions, don't they, and opponents, sorry. But not always the case, not always. Middlesbrough, the game went against them, although Leicester were getting stronger and stronger in that game. Sheffield Wednesday kept at it, didn't they? But whether it's sort of concentration levels or fitness levels or a bit of both, the opposition tend to sort of their performances, it becomes more open, they become a little bit looser. Leicester are able to expose that. But and patience again comes into it, doesn't it? And it'd be a little bit alien for the players, I'm sure, as well, because they'll be thinking, maybe they look and think, first 5 minutes against Leeds, for instance, and there's numerous games you could refer to. Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday should have been 2-0 down after losing the ball regularly in dangerous areas. But against Leeds, you knew it was coming. And me as a player, I'd be thinking, surely we'll just go long for the first 5 minutes, Gaffer. And he's like, no, you're going to play like this. Even if the players don't want to, they've got to play like that, which is brave. Some people say, brave stroking bordering on foolish, but they got away with it, even though they lost the game ultimately later on. But it's he's in it for the long haul, isn't he? I think Maresca.
Yes.
He sees, I don't know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow sort of thing, doesn't he?
Yes, he has a belief in the fact that the table says that Leicester City are top of the league. They'll be hoping to extend that when they play this afternoon in around about half an hour's time. We've got plenty more build-up, though, in the next half an hour as we build up to kick-off. If you don't want to listen to us anymore, then you can head on to Fox's Hub. There's plenty of other content for you. As you can see, the Read My Lips feature with Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall and Harry Winks that we've seen a snippet of, that is available for you, as is that fantastic documentary, A Legacy to Kunvishai. Really is a brilliant watch. It obviously was released, well, after the 5-year anniversary of that tragic accident here at King Power Stadium. Well worth watching that. Kelechi's welcome to a young City fan that gave him a celebration to do in a game if he scored, in which he did score, and then he invited the fan down to Seagrave. And finally, the latest episode of Leicester's The Place, the podcast, with Matt Elliott and Jerry Taggart in conversation with the man that got the winner at the weekend against West Brom. We can hear now from someone I've just mentioned. It isn't Harry Winks, it isn't Matt Elliott, but it is in fact Jerry Taggart, who is on co-comms for us this afternoon for this game against Plymouth. Jerry, Firstly, how cold is it out there, and what are you expecting from the game today?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dan. Good afternoon, lads. Yes, it's cold, but it's been colder, so I'm quite comfortable sat here at the moment. You see, I've got my hood up on my coat. What am I expecting? Let me just. I don't want the fans to miss out on seeing this beautiful creature. So expecting. Well, I think you look at Plymouth Argyle's away record, Dan, it's not the best. They haven't, if my extensive research is correct, Plymouth haven't won away all season. I think they've only picked up 3 points with 3 draws all season. So, and then listening to Liam saying about teams pressing, we've seen a bit of pressing at times higher up the pitch than say earlier on in the season. So it'll be interesting to see how Plymouth do they sit back, soak it up, or do they try and press from the front and hope to capitalise on the mistakes that the two lads have just been talking about. So it'll be interesting to see if they watch the videos from the Sheffield Wednesday game where I think Matt's already referenced there probably should have been at least 1 or 2 in front.
Harold, it's Matthew again.
Yes, Matthew. How can I help?
You're looking like the Grim Reaper there, son.
I'll take it off just for you. Look,
or is it the Dim Reaper?
Yeah.
I don't know. But listen, on to football matters. Team selection today.
Yes.
Couple of mini surprises in there.
Yes.
Hamza Choudhury, captain.
Yeah.
Give us your views on that. And also, Patson Daka. How do you read that situation?
Put me on the spot. Yeah, I'd have thought the natural successor, in my honest opinion, would have been Keenan Dewsbury. Would have been the standout player the captain has said, without with the absence of Jamie Vardy or Ricardo Pereira. But
yeah, you would have thought.
Yeah, but there you go. Obviously Enzo sees differently, and that's fine. Hamza Choudhury, another homegrown talent, a leader on the pitch. So, not too many complaints from me. As far as team selection is concerned, I'm just wondering, has Enzo's hand been forced to bring Pats in? There's no Iheanacho, no Vardy in the lineup or on the bench. So he's probably had to go with Patson Daka. Tom Cannon's on the bench. Do we get to see Tom Cannon at long last? Again, we'll have to wait and see. If you look at the last 2 games, both centre forwards played the full 90 minutes. Jamie Vardy against Wednesday, and obviously Kelechi against West Bromwich Albion. But other than that, you would say it's probably and apart from McAteer as well, Casey McAteer not in the squad today. I don't know what's up with him, but other than that, it's a pretty strong lineup to face Plymouth today.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We'll let you get off and have your final rest before kick-off, which is in 25 minutes. Now, we've been speaking a lot about that Harry Winks winner at the Hawthorns, haven't we? So very late on. Well, last time out against Plymouth here at King Power Stadium, it was also a very late winner from a former Foxes favourite.
There can't be many seconds left now. Last chance, maybe. Here's Ugeson, off the line, King! Leicester have done it! Deep in stoppage time, and King wins it! 3 points snatched!
Yes, Andy King snatching all 3 points last time out at home against Plymouth. A repeat of that would be nice, but we said a nice, calmer victory, hopefully, this afternoon. What was Kingy like for you when you were here at Leicester?
Unbelievable. There was a massive core of us coming through at the time that looked up to Kingy and lent on him a lot. He was the poster boy, if you like, of the academy. He just did everything right on and off the pitch. He speaks very well. He knows what it takes to get through. He's had the rejection of leaving Chelsea, coming here, really finding his feet. And in that video, and I think a year either side of that, he hit some unbelievable form. He scored some really big goals, and his numbers were insane.
Still playing, Kingy, isn't he?
Still playing.
At Bristol, yeah?
Yeah, he's injured at the moment. Obviously, Nigel took him to Bristol. And
Matty
he
James
still pops
as well,
up. Yeah, there's a core. Danny Simpson went there for a little bit as well.
Yes, right there.
So King is the kind of guy, though, if you're a gaffer and he's available, you take him because you can trust him.
Yeah.
He'll help out all the young players, and top guy.
Good, yeah. And a last-minute winner last time out, of course, against Plymouth. Let's take a close look at today's visitors. Jerry Taggart was spot on when he said they've picked up just 3 points on the road all season. Hopefully, it will stay at 3 points by the end of this. But Christopher Errington from Plymouth Live has been assessing today's visitors.
Absolutely. I mean, what's the mood? I think it's excitement, Dan. I mean, this is the reason that you try to get promoted out of League One, get back into the Championship in Argyle's case after a 13-year absence, and test yourself against former Premier League teams. Argyle have come up against Southampton and Leeds already this season. Lost 2-1 to both of them. 2-1 at home park to Southampton, 2-1 at Ellen Road to Leeds last month. Leicester are the third of the teams that were relegated from the Premier League. So once they've played City on Saturday, they've got a pretty good idea of exactly what it takes to be a strong team. And now they're clearly a long way from that. But the fact that they gave Southampton and Leeds at Ellen Road, pushed them to the end. I'm not saying they're the best team, but they pushed them right to the end. That will give them some hope and encouragement that they can come up to Leicester and certainly give Enzo Maresca's team a good game. In terms of style, not that much difference really. Steven Schumacher, the manager, 39-year-old, is committed to sort of playing attacking football. When we saw him at his press conference on Thursday lunchtime ahead of this game, again he stressed, I don't see the point of us trying to be negative. It's not what we do. So I'd be very surprised if Argyle turn up and put everyone behind the ball. Will they be able to play open, attacking, expansive football at the King Power Stadium? It's probably unlikely, isn't it, because of the strength of the opposition, but they'll give it a go. The home and away form is so contrasting. It stems from last season, I think, Dan. Out of the 23 home games they had in League One last season, they won 20 of them. I mean, it was almost unheard of for a team to win that many games in a single season, and it was what fueled their title triumph.
Thanks there to Christopher Errington from Plymouth Live for speaking ahead of this game. This game is available to you, of course, as ever on Fox's Hub, just as every single game is all season. If you're away from the UK, you can watch it with us. You can get that Game Pass, which is available to you. For all the information, all you need to do is head to Fox's Hub. If you're in the UK or anywhere, in fact, and you would rather listen to it, then Listen Passes are also available to you. All the information, as we've said, can be found on Fox's Hub. Looking ahead, though, to that game on Wednesday, we've already mentioned it, against Millwall. That game is available to absolutely everybody, wherever you are, so you can watch it here in the UK, of course, for just £10. All you need to do is scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner there to purchase that game. And looking forward to that, where hopefully Leicester can make it back-to-back home wins in the space of 4 days. Liam, just looking then at Plymouth, we heard from the reporter that they're not going to change the way they play, no matter who they come up against. Is that something that you expect to see as well today from them?
In terms of progressing through the thirds and counter-attacking, I imagine it'll be similar. I personally think there's a chance they might change their shape. The shape they play the most is 4-3-3, but I've seen on 4 occasions they've played the 4-3-2-1, and that's against teams that like to have a lot of the ball. So I feel like they might set up like that, but their objective will be to get the ball forward through the thirds, counter-attack Leicester, and get the ball to Morgan Whittaker. He's a real danger man at 21, 22 years of age. He's where a lot of their joy comes from, and I think they'll be really on the front foot in that final third.
Yeah, he'll be the one that if Mads Hermansen, the man on screen warming up there on the pitch, if he's going to be tested, Matt, it likely could be by Morgan Whittaker.
Yeah, I think most teams not preoccupy themselves, but their probably first thought is, rather than we're going to go and play our game against Leicester, I bet managers first look at how to nullify Hermanson in particular, Leicester playing out from the back and possibly pinching it off them. They'll have a look at that first, and then maybe secondary is right. By the way, we're still going to play our football, whatever that is. Maresca's already said about Plymouth being counter-attacking side. You know, even though most of their wins have come at home, where you think they try and impose themselves on the game. But yeah, I think it's like everything. You've got to have a balance, haven't you? They can't just come here and be, I wouldn't say arrogant, but be, daring really and flamboyant and say, right, listen, we don't care who we're playing, we're going to play our way. You have to adapt to the opposition as well. But it's when you get those opportunities, are you willing to go and put numbers forward, express yourself and play how you want to, which is seemingly Plymouth are going to do. But I don't think they'll do it and leave themselves wide open, because that's just asking for trouble.
Yes, we are just under 20 minutes away now from kickoff here at King Power Stadium. We can do a quick recap of today's team news, and you'll have seen them on the screen just a moment ago. That is the headline team news from a Leicester City point of view, as Patson Daka leads the line for the Foxes from the start for the first time since April. This is the 11. Then it's Hermanson, Justin, Vestergaard, Fass and Choudhury who comes in and captains the side in the absence of Ricardo, who isn't on the bench. Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi in midfield. Mavididi on the left, Fatawu on the right. He is in for McAteer, again not on the bench, and Daka in for Iheanacho. Neither Iheanacho nor Vardy also on the bench. Enzo Maresca says he'll give an update at the end of the game. Let's hear now from Leicester City's stand-in captain today, then, Hamza Choudhury, who's been speaking to our commentator, James Fielden, ahead of kickoff.
Hamza, relentless championship schedule, another game, another day. How are the boys feeling?
Yeah, excited. It's a big month for us. As a footballer, you want to play games week in, week out, and when you get 2 a week, it's good. It's about managing the legs and the sides, but we're excited.
Talking about legs, you're into the side today, presumably playing at right back. What have been your specific instructions for this one?
To sort of carry on as we've been going. The gaffer's got a game plan for different games, and we've obviously got a very distinct way of playing. It's something we've been doing since pre-season, so it's easy to come into the team and come out, so it's enjoyable.
And I'm sure you've looked at Plymouth this week as a newly promoted side, maybe one or two players the lads might not know or recognise, but what are their strengths and what do you expect from them?
Very high intensity. I think on the break they're very good and they're very attacking. They've obviously scored quite a few goals this season. I don't think you can underestimate anyone at any level. A game of football is a game of football, and anything can happen. I think that's why we all love the game so much. But it's about us really. This next month, the next couple of months, it's definitely all about us and to show what we can do and keep getting results.
That is Leicester City's captain today, Hamza Choudhury, speaking ahead of the game. Liam, how will his role, do you think, differ from when Ricardo does that, from right back into midfield, or will it be the same? Is it expected to be the same?
I think he'll be expected to do the same to a certain extent. I think when Leicester are building, he'll naturally go into his position into midfield. Hamza's, he's done that for many years, so the angles he'll be receiving the ball at will be very similar. But the difference I think you'll find will be Ricardo was popping up all over the pitch. There was times when he was in like the left side of the pitch, almost in a 10 position. I think it'll be a bit more structured today. Hamza will play between right back and the 6, and maybe ask Harry Winks to do that a little bit more that had been happening in the previous weeks.
Winks on the score sheet again, possibly
Maybe.
pushing forward, but yeah, minor differences, isn't it? Really, yeah, he's just sort of replicating pretty much. But yeah, I think Liam's right there. Ricardo, he does pop up in advanced areas, doesn't he, at times, and that's perhaps something that, because you've got Winks there as well, something that perhaps Hamza could look at developing his game, maybe doing that a little bit. I know he's not known for his, he's got a decent range of passing, but not known for his creativity with his passing, shall we say, and goal scoring, but perhaps look at developing that.
Yeah, we spoke.
Eunice not in the squad, by the way, as well. Another one, isn't there? Sorry, just
suddenly that just came to you then, didn't
No, I was thinking there, he's naming that team. It's a strong team.
Yeah.
It's a pretty strong bench as well.
Considering how many
players are not even in the squad today.
Yeah.
It's got to work well for Leicester in the long run, hasn't it?
Hopefully. What's the key today, do you think, against this Plymouth side? Obviously, they'll be looking, of course, to get all 3 points.
What's the key? For me, the critical area for Leicester is, I know the wide players, obviously, that they make the difference sometimes, you know, because they have that creativity about it. They have that something extra, don't they, in 1v1 situations. But the strongest department for me for Leicester is in midfield. There, when you've got Harry Winks, Dewsbury Hall, Wilfred and Didi, you're looking, most weeks you're looking for them, something to come from them. And more often than not it does, doesn't it, one way or another. And I think they've got too much. With Hamza Choudhury added to the mix as well, it's too much for oppositions normally.
I think the ability's, you know, it's there, it's clear. No disrespect at all to Plymouth. But I think if people looked at the two squads, you'd be leaning towards Leicester getting the win. But if I was in the dressing room today, the number one thing I'd be drilling home would be mindset. You know, it's not just Plymouth, we're not just going out there and turning up and winning the game. We need to do things properly. And that's going to be the key to the game. Move the ball fast, don't get complacent. Don't take that extra touch because it's Plymouth, if you like. You've got to move it through the thirds as fast as you can and take your chances.
Thank you very much to Liam Moore and to Matt Elliott, two former Leicester City central defenders. We've got another one of those as well on co-commentary alongside James Fielden today. Leeds United won earlier this afternoon. That means they've gone to within 5 points of Leicester. So 5 points is the gap between first and third. Vital that the Foxes can hopefully get all 3 points then this afternoon. Let's hand over to that commentary team and here's all the information of what is available to watch on Foxes Hub this afternoon.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.